7 Disturbing Facts About Elizabeth Bathory, the Blood Countess. Today, we are going to be diving into 7 disturbing facts about Elizabeth Bathory, the Blood Countess. Subscribe to the channel for new videos on serial killers every week. Fact 1. As a child, she witnessed terrible scenes of torture. As a little girl, the spoiled Elizabeth was never chastised for any bad behavior, even though she was prone to fits of rage and violence. From the time she was a young girl, she experienced seizures, wild mood swings, and terrible migraines. She also observed scenes of horrific torture, including one episode where she watched local authorities slit open the belly of a living horse, cram a criminal inside it, and stitch it closed, leaving the living criminal to writhe and struggle until both the human and the horse were dead. Fact 2. She had a secret love child at 13 and married a sadistic husband. After taking a lover at age 13 and giving birth to a secret love child, Elizabeth was married shortly before turning 15 to a nobleman named Ferenc Nadasdy. He was allegedly as into dark stuff as his wife, cruelly torturing Ottoman captives and sticking pieces of paper between his servants' toes and setting them on fire. For his ferocity in battle against Ottoman Turks, he earned the nickname the Black Knight. Fact 3. She supposedly bathed in virgin's blood to keep herself young. Elizabeth was reputed to have bitten her young female victims and sucked blood from their wounds, making her one of the inspirations for Bram Stoker's Dracula. Reportedly, later in her murderous career, she also bathed in the blood of the virgins she tortured, believing this would keep her forever young and beautiful. However, these stories of her literal bloodbaths come from a later account that mythologized and perhaps exaggerated her cruelty. Fact 4. After her husband's death, she grew even more violent. Eventually, Elizabeth outgrew her husband's torture tactics and began to learn new methods of wreaking havoc on those around her, especially servant girls. She wrote to Nadasdy that her servant Thorko had taught her a new method of cursing: beat a black hen to death, then smear the blood on your enemy or his clothes to condemn him. After her husband died in 1604, Elizabeth became even more extreme. Records from her later trials indicate Elizabeth shoved needles underneath girls' fingernails or into their faces. She would bite chunks of flesh from their bodies or poke their breasts with sharp pincers. Fact 5. Elizabeth tripped herself up when she tried to expand her torture tactics. For a number of years, Elizabeth was content to torture and potentially bathe in the blood of young peasant girls who came to serve her from nearby towns. But eventually, the parents of local average Janes caught on to her brutal ways and stopped sending their daughters up to her castle. In her later days, Elizabeth became more daring. She began fostering young noblewomen from poor families across Transylvania and even Croatia, offering to teach them at a school for girls supposedly run out of her castle. But the parents of aristocratic girls could and did make a political fuss that caught the attention of local authorities, although conflicting reports state she may have passed local peasant ladies off as noble girls. Elizabeth also gave herself away when she murdered a famous choir singer who couldn't or wouldn't belt out a tune for her. Unlike a poor peasant from the country, this well-known singer was immediately missed when she disappeared. Fact 6. Elizabeth may have murdered 650 young women. Between her servant girls and the local noblewoman she recruited to tutor, Elizabeth slaughtered and tortured many young women. Over 10 years of torture, she reputedly brutalized 650 different ladies, that number reported by a peasant girl who was a witness to these crimes. But she was only officially charged with the murder of 80 women. How many did she kill? We'll probably never know. Fact 7. The ruins of her castle still stand. Where did Elizabeth commit her misdeeds? Her primary residence was at the striking castle of Countess, located in modern Slovakia, which she received as a present on her marriage as a teen. There she tortured servant girls and buried them, and there she was imprisoned for life. Today, the castle's ruins still stand, a legacy of either a grievous misrepresentation of a sexually adventurous woman, or one of the world's most infamous serial killers. If there was something we missed, let us know in the comments. If you are interested in making videos like this, check the links in the description.